Captain's Log, Stardate 3724, aboard the USS Gazer. We continue our mission to explore the planet Shakespearea. We've just received the latest report from our bold explorer Mia, who continues to investigate the Othello region below. Computer, please load the data on the viewport.
Now loading data.
In Act 3, the plot thickens with Iago's manipulations. He plants seeds of doubt and jealousy in Othello's mind, suggesting that Desdemona is cheating on him with Cassio. Iago then orchestrates a conversation with Cassio, making sure Othello overhears. Cassio's actually talking about another woman named Bianca, but Iago makes it seem like he's speaking about Desdemona. And Othello totally falls for it. Iago doesn't stop there. He takes Desdemona's handkerchief, a gift from Othello, and plants it in Cassio's room. Othello, consumed by jealousy, confronts Desdemona, deepening their rift. Othello's misplaced trust in Iago and his growing suspicion of Desdemona reveals his tragic flaw: jealousy. This showcases the power of Iago's manipulation, turning Othello's love into doubt and rage.
Captain, the Federation has requested a report on the lessons learned from the Othello region of Shakespearea.
Affirmative. So, we need to think about the themes in Othello. To help us do that, we'll explore how Iago's deceit and Othello's tragic vulnerability to jealousy shape the unfolding drama. I'm headed over to the command bridge and we'll dive into the data together, right after this. Alright crew, I'm at the command bridge, ready to sift through the data. Our goal is to prepare a report that focuses on the big lessons or themes of Othello. To do that, we need to make sure we fully understand the quotes we're analyzing. We'll use our pause strategy to help with that, so we can do the bigger thinking about what these quotes are saying about the theme of jealousy. Computer, display the first piece of data.
Displaying the first notable quote from Act 3.
Time to pause and break this down. First, let's preview the scene. Iago's trying to plant seeds of doubt in Othello's mind about Desdemona's faithfulness. He's pretending to be a concerned friend while actually fueling Othello's jealousy. Next, let's act it out. Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. What does this quote seem to be saying about jealousy? Pause the video to think it over. For me, the phrase green-eyed monster really stands out. It's a vivid metaphor for jealousy that shows how destructive it can be. The phrase mocks the meat it feeds on suggests that jealousy ridicules and destroys the person it consumes. In summary, Iago's warning Othello that jealousy is destructive. So, how does this connect to the theme? Consider these questions. How does Iago describe jealousy? Why would Iago want to plant this idea in Othello's mind? What does this say about the impact of jealousy? Pause the video while you think. So, Iago's basically saying, watch out, jealousy is a beast that will eat you alive. By putting this idea in Othello's head, he's making Othello super paranoid and suspicious. Iago's trying to act like he's this really good friend looking out for Othello, but really, he knows that once jealousy takes root, it will completely mess with Othello's mind, shattering his peaceful marriage. And if Iago gets his way, it will also lead to Othello's total downfall. This shows just how powerful and destructive jealousy can be. Let's move on to the next piece of data and consider how it connects to the theme.
Displaying the second notable quote from Act 3.
Here, Othello's thinking aloud, first about his marriage, and then about Iago. He wonders how much Iago really knows about Desdemona's potential cheating scandal. We've previewed this scene already, so let's act it out. Why did I marry? This honest creature doubtless sees and knows more, much more than he unfolds. Based on this quote, how does Othello seem to feel about Desdemona? How does he feel about Iago? Pause the video and think it over. So here's what I'm noticing. Othello is seriously doubting his decision to marry Desdemona. He calls Iago an honest creature, thinking Iago knows more than he's letting on. His suspicions are growing all because of Iago's manipulation. So how does this connect to the theme of jealousy? Consider these questions. How does Othello's doubt illustrate the destructive power of jealousy? How might this growing jealousy be leading him toward a tragic end? Pause the video while you think. Othello's words show just how much Iago's manipulation has messed with his mind. His jealousy is making him question everything, even his marriage. This quote highlights how jealousy can erode trust and make someone think irrationally. It can even be the tragic flaw that leads to our hero's downfall. In fact, jealousy is a powerful force driving the plot and causing the characters to unravel. And, speaking of unraveling, let's see how Othello describes the impact of jealousy on his state of mind.
Displaying the third notable quote from Act 3.
We're still in the same scene, so let's act this out. Oh, now, forever farewell the tranquil mind, farewell content, farewell the plumed troop and the big wars that make ambition virtue. Oh, farewell. What stands out to you about Othello's state of mind? Pause the video and think it over. For me, the repetition of farewell really stands out. It's as if Othello is saying goodbye to everything that gave his life meaning and purpose. So, how does this connect to the theme of jealousy? Consider these questions. How does this quote reflect the impact of jealousy on Othello's state of mind? What does this tell us about the power of jealousy? Pause the video while you think. Othello's words are like a huge warning sign of how badly jealousy can mess up your mind. This quote highlights the power of jealousy to destroy peace and happiness, making it clear that it is truly a tragic flaw. Now that we've explored some notable quotes from Act 3 and uncovered these connections to the theme of jealousy, let's think about what Shakespeare is really saying about jealousy at this point in the play. What overarching statement do you think Shakespeare is making about jealousy? How could you express this idea in a thematic statement? Pause the video while you think it over. With all this talk about jealousy, it's like Shakespeare's showing us that it can totally mess up your mind and life. Jealousy makes you lose trust in others and think irrational thoughts, and it ruins any chance of being happy. Ultimately, it can lead to a person's tragic downfall. To put it more concisely, Shakespeare's saying that unchecked jealousy destroys lives and leads to tragic consequences. As you move into Acts 4 and 5, keep watching out for how jealousy influences the characters. What further damage will it cause? How will it impact their relationships and fates?
And don't forget that other themes exploring topics like manipulation and betrayal are also unfolding. Pay attention to how these themes develop and intersect.
That's right! Understanding how everything concludes will help you grasp the full scope of Shakespeare's message. So, continue exploring Othello's story and the lessons it holds. Read well and prosper.
Hey, hey.